Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second update on my journey through the OSCP course. Today, I'm going to spend some time and try to cover a few things that I've picked up on and things I think might be helpful to other people, and cover some of the common questions I had that I've been able to answer for myself so far. So, first of all, where are we at on time? Today is technically day 4, day 5. I'm about 30% through the material, and having a great time. Really have enjoyed the content. I've really learned a lot of new things, had a lot of refresher on some things. It's been a really enjoyable content. Um, with that being said, one of the things that I had spent a lot of time doing and researching going into the OSCP is what are some of the things that you need to know, or what skill sets do you need, what education level do you need to be able to enroll for this? Um, a lot of mixed information out there. The OSCP is considered to be an entry level pen testing cert. However, I would tell you it's definitely not an entry level certification by any means. It is difficult and it is challenging. I can already tell you that. Just going through the material and the way you're tested throughout that. And so, what I would say is for someone who has a strong interest in this field of information security and penetration testing, there are a few things that you definitely want to have a good foundation on before attempting. Um, in my opinion, the first one is going to be networking. You really need to have a pretty good grasp on how networks flow and operate, routing, technologies, subnetting, things of that nature. You don't necessarily have to be um, some like CCNP or CCIE level individual, or someone who's been doing it for years, but you need to just have a good foundational knowledge of how networks operate. One area that I definitely, probably my weakest area, and one that's beneficial to have, is a little bit of programming or scripting background. I have self-taught a little bit in preparation, and I definitely would recommend that as well. And then definitely just general knowledge and operation of Linux, and then Windows as well, because obviously your targets are going to be those. Linux will come in handy as you're navigating Kali and just doing routine tasks to perform your penetration testing. So if you can do some of those things, then definitely, if you have interest, then just go for it. The OSCP is gonna give you what you need as long as you have those foundational knowledges. Um, Now, I've heard a lot of different approaches to how to tackle the OSCP and mentalities going into it. Some folks jump right into the labs and trying to get as many shells as they can right off the bat. That has not been my approach. Mine has been I want to go through the material. I'm taking my time. I went with 90 days of course time, and my goal is to be within inside 2 weeks to be through all the material, and then the last 2.5 months focus on the labs. The reason why is I think you can get yourself in trouble by trying to surpass the material, because once again, OSCP is they're trying to teach you their methodologies, their ways. So to prepare you for the lab and ultimately the exam, you need to really understand that material. With that being said, at the end of each kind of section, there are some kind of challenges and things, and I think it's important to take the time and do those. And the reason why is it's going to develop the try harder mentality. Um, you are definitely given most of what you need, but there are times in the coursework where you have to go out and do a little bit of research, and I think that's a great thing to get in the habit in, because from the folks that I've watched and listened to, that's a lot of the penetration testing field and information security constantly researching. So that's kind of been my approach so far. Like I said, so far so good. But with that being said, I do want to review a couple of tools that have definitely been helpful to me along the way, and that I think are definitely keys to having if you're going to go into the OSCP or pen testing. And honestly, all these tools are just great if you're in the IT field anyways, for a lot of different reasons. The first one that's been pulled up this whole time, VMware Workstation. Highly recommend as a hypervisor. You can use other ones and get by with them. There's one from Java, I'm sorry, Oracle, not Java, called VirtualBox. Of course, Windows has Hyper-V built into it, and if you have the Pro version of Windows, then that's included with your licensing. I really like VMware Workstation, and the reason why is a lot of the images you get will run right out of the gate on it. It's just easy to do. The biggest thing with Pro is you get these nice tabs, so you can run multiple VMs and quickly swap back and forth between them. But you definitely want some sort of virtualization on your kind of work system. The other thing that's super critical for both OSCP and then just IT in general is Cherry Tree or some note-taking item. So URLs right here. It doesn't necessarily have to be Cherry Tree. It's just the one that I have preferred to work with. Go out and download that if you're looking for a good note-taking software. But just a quick kind of overview of how it works is it's kind of a tree and node. So I can start a new instance here, and we're going to just start with a node and call it notes, and can add a subnode and say subnode, and then I can add subnode of a subnode. So you get this nice kind of laid out node structure. The other thing is you can copy and paste pictures straight into here, code, anything like that, accepts a lot of different formats. So it makes it really easy to keep your notes nice and organized. Now, as far as I just mentioned, pictures, it helps to have a nice screenshot utility. If you have not used Screenshot and you work in IT, I'm going to just go ahead and say it now, you're welcome. This is an extremely handy tool. You can go ahead and download it and run it, and I'll give a quick overview of that. By simply clicking print screen, I get a little cursor here, and now I can highlight and drag and take simple screenshots and get a ton of options. I can copy it straight to the clipboard if I wanted to post that into my Cherry Tree. So I'll go ahead and do that, because this is something I do frequently as I'm going through the OSCP. The other option that I do frequently is open an image editor. And the reason I like to do this is now I can do things like add text. You can draw some arrows. Oh, if I selected the arrow, that would help. Many little options like this to just add additional things to the image you're trying to take. And then once again, I can copy to clipboard, go to my Cherry Tree, dump it into there. So two really fantastic tools to use. I think that's about all the updates I have and kind of the things I've thought about so far up to this point. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to plan on doing some additional video series at some point to probably start just going over different things I've learned about this. I've even considered doing a network training or real world networking, since I've got a lot of experience with that. Let me know what you guys think, and appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for the next update.